Bean-in-it, bean-in-it, din-din, din-in-it, din-in-it, din-din. Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, what's
How are you
up,
feeling,
guys?
Liv? I know you got pretty banged up by the vaccine. Trooper for being out here.
I'm gonna be honest. Last night was hell. To put it
Yeah.
nicely, last night was hell. But I'm kind of thankful that I got it last night, so that today I could like be, in good spirits, decently. I'm very exhausted, but I'm here and I'm alive, and my rash is gone.
Let's
and
go.
Scratchy throat. I have a funny story though. My grandma texted me. She said, "Hey, yeah, I'm alive, Philly Pod.
Why do you
Can't get
sound
rid of me yet."
disappointed by that, Philly Pod? This is weird energy to come in there. Oh, Nikki, already making a bit out of it.
All right. No, funny story. My grandma texted me. She goes, "Hey, I tuned into Prop Talk. Tell me about your rash and your sore throat. Are you okay?" I'm like, all right, Grandma. First of all, Grandma's a Prop Talk fan. Second of all,
I love grandmas.
The rash was concerning to Grandma. Okay, but
I love grandmas. Grandmas are my favorite.
Also, my grandma and my mom are major Mikey Over simps. It's quite annoing.
I'm a simp for them, so it only makes sense.
I mean, you called my mom Tara yesterday, so you can't be that much of a simp.
I simp for Kara.
All right. Anyway, let's just get real. Besides Moderna being a total biatch, so are those games.
Yeah, fuck those games. I don't even want to talk about
it. Honestly, I mean, Moderna and the Hornets and also the Wizards are all kind of on the same level for me right now in terms of screwing me over.
You know what, though?
I got bent over 3 times yesterday. First, by the Hornets, second by the Wizards, and then when I thought the screwing was done, Moderna said, "What's good, bitch?"
Gerard, I also put 5 units on them. But it's so classic NBA for me to be so excited about the NBA playoffs, the play-in, first time ever, like getting so excited. I sit down in front of my TV, 2 awful games.
That was so...
Like, even as an NBA fan, if you were just watching, not even betting, like, just terrible games. Like, not like I guess Jason Tatum dropping 50 was, like, cool, but the Wizards looked awful. Russell Westbrook was West Brick. Like, it was, like, just terrible games.
What, though? It wasn't cool of Jason Tatum to do that because I didn't have my money on Jason Tatum. So
I had my money on the Wizards.
It wasn't cool. I was on the Wizards. I was also on Westbrook, who was shooting like his eyes were taped shut.
Yeah, I mean, that was just...
All I'm saying is when it's the play-in tournament and it's also playoffs, you can smell them in the air. You should not be performing like that. Hornets, shame on you.
Yeah, shame on the Hornets.
Wizards, okay, the Hornets, still love them, but I need a minute to I need a break. You know how relationships go on breaks where you still love the person, but you just need a break? I need a break from them.
Of course.
Regardless, we are back. We figured what better way to hopefully make up for what an absolute shit show yesterday was, and with another episode.
Mess.
So I told Moderna, sit the F down, know your place, get off my back.
Shut it.
Because I have prop talk tomorrow. So long story short, after this episode, I will be probably taking a fat nap. But for now, it's time to grind. It's time to get these props figured out, and it's time to just make it happen. So let's just get into it. Okay? Let's just get into it. Starting off, Spurs versus Grizzlies. Now,
interesting matchup.
Very.
The Spurs have been weird this year for a couple reasons. One, it seems like their overs never hit. Like their player numbers haven't changed all year. Except DeMar DeRozan.
Vegas doesn't even care enough about them. They're like
seriously, Vegas seems to do no work with the Spurs. They just put them in they're either 2 points above their average or 3 points above their average. I've never seen DeJounte Murray's number at his average. It just seems like Vegas doesn't care about the Spurs, so they just throw numbers around. DeMar DeRozan's point total is up 5 points from what his normal over-under is. It just makes no sense. So I stayed away from the Spurs today just because I've stayed away from them all year, and I think they're just a weird team. You never know what you're going to get from them, but should be a good game, hopefully.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. Even though I would say the Spurs is the one team this year that I don't like betting on because I cannot get a read on them. We are at the end of the season, and I still don't know what the Spurs team is about. But what I will say is we've seen them hang with the big dogs quite a few times. So it's will we get that this game or will we not? That's where it's you worry about a blowout, but who would have thought a blowout would happen between the Pacers and the Hornets? Not me. I didn't bank on that. So it's I'm going to go into this game assuming that it's going to be a good one. But I'm like you. I'm not touching the Spurs. Those lines just don't seem correct. Don't encourage his behavior, Jeremy. Are you out of your mind? No, see, look what you've done. Yep,
Shit.
Exactly. Oh my God. Anyway,
Wow,
I'm with you.
That last chat was a little dark.
I think.
Did you see it?
No.
It was like breaks or.
She went and did.
Oh, jeez. Hey, Chris. Sorry about it, dude. That's tough.
Wow. Ooh, that got weird.
That got tough. Weird. I feel bad for Chris, man.
Yeah, Chris, let's have a convo after this. How about that? Let's just regroup, maybe do a little therapy session.
God, now the chat is chirping on my shooting.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
LaMelo all day. That's a deep cut, man. Come on. You're better than that.
Yeah, come on. TM 411327. We have this. Honestly, let's assume it's going to be a good game. That's the only mindset that I can have, because if I don't have it, then I won't bet on NBA for the rest of playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I'm not on the Spurs. Who I am on is a gentleman that I think, although his position probably should put him in one spot to get boards, this is an all-around type of guy, and I think for the Spurs, I like this matchup for him up against the Spurs team, because I don't think they have a strong enough center to face off against the very own Jonas Valanciunas. I love this guy. First of all, the Spurs allow the second most rebounds in the league right now.
Yeah, I love this play.
So I really like him to have a big night getting boards, but he's also a shooter. He knows how to drive under the basket and get those points. He scores very consistently for this Grizzlies team. He's hit this in 4 of the last 5. I like him to have a big night, not only getting boards up against a team who struggles and allows a lot of rebounds, but also shooting wise. I really, really like him to have a big night, not only with the boards, but also with the scoring. And I think Valanciunas is going to have a big one. I think he has to. And I think up against the Spurs team, I like this matchup for him. I don't think there's anyone that can guard or defend him very well on this Spurs team. So I like him to have a big night for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I love this prop. When I was looking through the Grizzlies game, the 2 guys I was focusing on was one, Valanciunas, because you're totally right. That matchup against Jacob Poole, I mean, it's honestly should
your
be.
Name is Poole. Like,
yeah. If you're not the chain brand Chipotle that I abbreviate as Potle or Podal, you shouldn't be an NBA player, but this guy's last name is Podal, and he's in the NBA. Honestly, I think this night should be a career night for Valanciunas going up against Podal in the play-in. You have everything to play for right now, and you're going up against a guy that honestly probably isn't even in your league right now in terms of playing. So I love this prop. Honestly, when I was looking at props, Liv, I was looking at a Valanciunas rebound prop. I was looking at his points to rebound, and I was like, I gotta leave these for Liv, because I know she's gonna be sniffing around these rebounds for the big man. So I love it.
I love rebound props. I love them, and I think rebound props are very tricky. I think you and I have talked about this before. Points, they're going to score. That's the whole game of basketball. So it feels a little more comfortable to go for a points prop a lot of the time. But when I'm looking at rebound props, I'm really focusing on how these teams play defensively. That's what I look at when I don't want to call it handicapping, but when I'm trying to figure out my player props, I'm looking at how the teams play on defense. And a lot of defense is determined by how many second chance opportunities you get your team and how well you get boards. And I think going up against a Spurs team who really struggles in defense and allows the second most rebounds, automatically, my brain goes to not only the leading rebounder for the Grizzlies, but he's also arguably one of the strongest players on the team all around.
Absolutely.
So for me,
and one of the strongest at that position in the NBA.
Absolutely. And I did look at just the rebound prop by itself, but I also am thinking in my head, if the Grizzlies want to win this game, Valanciunas has to score. So I like him to do both tonight, but yeah, that's why I like it. But thank you. I appreciate you for leaving the rebound props to me, because
I love this play. Honestly, I think this matchup for him should be great. I'm on the same side of the coin, but I'm with Ja Morant on this one. The same thing you were thinking, I think with guards a lot. So where you go points and rebounds with the big men, I like to look at points and assists. And for this matchup, I was specifically thinking Ja to Valanciunas should be a play all night. But they put his points and assist line at 29.5, and he hasn't hit that in like 15 games. So I was like,
his assists can get weird sometimes. His assists can get weird sometimes.
His assists can be really odd. And I was like, do I think John Morant will get over 20 and like 11 assists? I don't trust that number. Whereas 20 and a half, that's what his point line has been kind of at all year. And in a play-in game, I would love to believe that Ja wants to play up to the competition and really put this game to bed. And I think over 20 and a half should be good for Ja. I'm a little wary on it, to be totally honest. This was just a prop that I liked the most. My favorite prop is in the next game that I like sniped this morning and started a whole thing on Twitter with a hashtag and everything. But this is the only play. And to be totally honest, in these two games, there weren't a lot of props that jumped out at me. So you kind of get down to like, I got to go for points because it's comfortable. And I settled on Ja tonight. I think that should be his night tonight, but you never know. So 20 and a half is what I like. And that's what I took.
To be honest with you, I think Ja is one of those players that's young and still trying to find his rhythm in the NBA in terms of what he's really great at. I think he's a very well-rounded point guard, especially on this Grizzlies team. But I do think, let's not underestimate John Morant. When it comes down to pressure and getting the job done, I think he's the guy to do it. I think him and Valanciunas are the two people on this Grizzlies team that show the most consistency throughout their season this year on this Grizzlies team.
Absolutely.
And I think they both know how to play under pressure, and I think that's exactly what this game is for this Grizzlies team because the Grizzlies have been so just up and down. And again, I think we've got two teams that are very hard to read, so it made finding player props extraordinarily difficult. So I think the best way when you're looking at a game like this where you're like, I can't read either one of these teams right now. Look at those star players. Look at the players that have the most consistency. Look at their last five matchups. I think Ja and Valanciunas are the two guys on this Grizzlies team that have to get the job done for them. So,
and look, with this play-in tournament, no one's ever bet on a play-in tournament before. Yesterday, it went to complete shambles because some teams show up, some teams don't. You never know. So, as of right now, I consider the play-in tournament a complete toss-up with props, but I love the props that we have for that game. Looking forward to the Warriors-Lakers game, which should hopefully be a good game. I could see being a possible blowout, but let's talk about it. Who do you have in that?
Germinator. Did Germinator just call Mikey over beautiful? That was very nice of him.
Who said that?
What's good, beautiful people? Germinator did.
Germinator. What?
Little fanboy action?
What are you doing, Germinator? Germinator, you're looking great.
You're looking beautiful yourself there. All right. Anyway, yeah, shit was terrible yesterday. Let's not talk about that.
Yesterday.
It was tough. Yeah, we do have another game, and I think this game is a little bit more electric.
A little bit more electric. I think it's getting built up to be very electric, but I could totally see this game being a very one-sided affair, if I'm being honest with you.
And as much as I want this Warriors team to just let Lakers have it, I don't think that's what I'm going to see tonight. And it scares me. Because now we have LeBron and AD both on the court again, and it's like, will we
loves the red hat.
Oh, wow, that's gross.
Loves the red hat.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. What we could see is a Lakers team who finally gets their star players back, and their rhythm is just off.
We could see that as well.
What I'm thinking we will see is we get their star players back, and we see the Lakers team that we've been missing for the past few months. And that scares the crap out of me. And that's why I'm like, do I even want to touch the spread or the total in this game? I don't know, because I don't know what version of the Lakers we're going to get tonight. We've seen the Warriors. They know how to keep it close, even when they have a big deficit at half. You've got Steph Curry that comes in and makes the great three-point shots. Draymond Green has been driving it to the basket and playing extremely aggressive basketball, which I would argue is the basketball he should be playing every single game.
Absolutely.
He's been playing way better. Then you've got Jordan Poole off the bench who's shooting the lights out every chance that he gets. So it's like we've got a Warriors team that knows how to hang. We've got a Lakers team that we don't really know what we're going to get because we haven't seen them fully healthy in the pressured game, playing with their stars all together on the court. So what do you do? Flip a freaking coin, perhaps.
I think the way I look at this game is I see two options, right? I mean, the Warriors are red hot right now because Steph is red hot, right? I mean, he beat the Suns, but when you look at the Suns right now versus the Lakers, right? The Lakers have been injury-ridden all season. We've talked about it multiple times, how many times they've rested, how many times they've done X, Y, and Z. And I think you're going to see a Warriors team that, one, we've talked before, has no depth at the big man position, coming up against a roster that was systematically built to play extremely big with the starting five of Davis, Drummond, and LeBron James. That's a system that they put together to be a really big team. And this Warriors team could struggle, right? This could be a game where they come in, Davis, Drummond, and LeBron just have a day, because the Warriors are missing some key players. Kelly Oubre is out. Damian Lee is out. These are guys that can make the difference. Honestly, I was hoping that Kelly Oubre would be healthy for this game, but on Sunday they said he was definitely going to miss it, because I saw Kelly Oubre as a swing factor in this game.
It's because he's too busy making babies.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we've got a real life daddy on our hands, people.
I mean,
can you imagine coming out the womb and going, "That's my dad"?
Do you imagine
shit,
how
my dad's
good
hot.
That baby's going to look?
Woo! God dang. I mean,
jeez. But yeah, I mean, I saw him as kind of
this... turn the heat on in this house? What's on here? Lord have mercy. Jeez.
I saw him as a swing factor just because the way he likes to drive to the hoop and the way his shooting has been. But when you look at this Warriors roster up against this Lakers team, it could completely be a blowout. But as we've seen with the play-in, you never know. So where I went for my props, listen, I prefaced it on Book It this morning. I prefaced it on Twitter. I'm absolutely hammering Jordan Poole over 11.5 points, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Jordan Poole has been one of my favorite players since he was at Michigan, and I've loved to see his progression this year on the Warriors. Over the weekend, he dropped 36 points. He's just finally becoming that scorer that I think the Warriors knew they were getting when they drafted him, and I love 11.5 for him in this game for two reasons. One, I think if you see a potential blowout, he's going to get a lot of court time, because the Warriors love to develop scores, as we saw with Steph Curry and his development with the Warriors. And I think if there's a blowout, he's a guy you leave on the floor and let him take charge, right? And let him put up those shots, let him get the volume shooting. But I also believe that if this game gets close, he's going to get a lot of minutes regardless, because he's their new weapon off the bench now. Let's be honest, Kent Bazemore is not much of a weapon anymore. If you're looking at that Warriors bench, there's one name you see that can put up some production. It's Jordan Poole, if he doesn't start. So I love Jordan Poole over 11.5 points. A quick disclaimer, this is a classic. I saw it. He's one of my favorite players, so I'm going to put money on him. I have a little bit of backup, but that's honestly why I'm putting money on him. I want to watch this game and hopefully watch Jordan Poole play well, but especially in this matchup too, Liv, we didn't talk about the Lakers' depth at the guard position is one of the worst in the NBA. So you might be looking at Steph being able to carry them through this game, right? Because their depth is awful at the guard position. But I'd love to see what the Lakers have in their bag of tricks to stop him, because I'm sure it's going to be double and triple teams all night.
Right. And it's actually, I want to say, I didn't see all of your Poole fanboy behavior today. And I liked this play immediately. And I said to Mike backstage, I said to Mike and our producer Nick backstage, I said, I really like Jordan Poole tonight over 11.5. And Mike had a slight flex and just flexed it on the screen. He's like, I already have it. I was like, oh, okay. So
I branded it as hashtag pool party.
You wrote it down. Why did you write it down?
So I could show it. The pool party.
Okay, I'm on it.
Pool party.
I'm riding it all the way home. I love it.
And if you really love Jordan Poole like I do, you might make a parlay where you tease his points up to 15 and his threes up to 3+ and put $20 on it. Which is what I did. So
slight flex.
Not a flex. Could just be burning money. So
no, I love it. I'm totally on Jordan Poole tonight. I think he's arguably one of the best bench players in the league right now, if we're being honest.
He's giving great minutes.
He is just, when he steps on that court, he knows what he needs to do, and that's shoot the ball, and he's doing it very well lately. And
absolutely,
I think he could be the Warriors' secret weapon tonight to either come back from a deficit or hang in there with this Lakers team who's finally healthy and finally has all their players back on the floor. So I really, really like Jordan Poole tonight. For me, up against the Warriors, my all-time favorite prop is what?
Rebound.
Correct. The Warriors allow the third most rebounds in the league. Kind of like what I said with the Spurs, they just struggle. And we've seen Draymond Green, I would say, is shooting more than he's getting boards lately, because he's finally finding his shooting rhythm, driving it to the basket, kind of being an aggressive offensive player, taking a step back on defense. I really like Andre Drummond over 9.5 rebounds. He's hit this in his last 5. Value's not great. I think it was -140 the last time that I saw it, but hell, I'd rather cash on a -140 than have the night I had last night. I like this play. I think he can hit this no problem. He's hit it in the last 5. He's going up against a Warriors team that really struggles to get boards and allows their opposing centers to get a lot of boards every time they play. So Andre Drummond over 9.5. I also did look at Anthony Davis. His line is also at 9.5, and the value there is much better. It's -108. So if you're not sold on the value for Andre Drummond, maybe take a look at Anthony Davis. Points plus rebounds. I did go back and forth with that one as well because kind of like Valanciunas, Anthony Davis is one of those guys where getting boards and buckets is kind of the name of the game for him. I just worry that now that LeBron's back, will we see more scoring from LeBron and less scoring from Anthony Davis? So those are all things to consider. But after considering everything, even though the value is not great, I had a losing night last night. So any value is good value to me. So over 9.5 for Drummond is where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I love this for one reason only, and it's that the Warriors have no center. Kevon Looney is just not going to be able to hang with these guys, and I just think Anthony Davis versus Andre Drummond, if you were to ask me who's going to get more rebounds in a given night, in the system they play, I would love to say Andre Drummond because Anthony Davis loves
one job.
You got one job. You got to protect the paint and get rebounds and then outlet it to your scorers, who are LeBron and Anthony Davis. So I love that for a couple reasons, but I think if I was picking between the two, I definitely would side with you on this one and say Andre Drummond.
And listen, sometimes you got to give and take. Here on the Prop Talk Show, we love the juicy plays, but some nights, even though the juice looks good, you got to think with your brain. And I'm thinking Andre Drummond is the way to go. Exactly. There's risk with juice. We know this, people.
Of course.
So I am loving our picks for tonight, actually. I may just screw around and put them all together in a parlay. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. I did.
The party parlay.
I mean.
The prop parlay.
You said it, not me.
The prop parlay.
You said it. I'm liking these plays for tonight. We do have a little party prop today, don't we?
We do have a little party prop. And listen, this party prop, because yesterday's party prop hit and was, full disclosure, one of the only props it did for us last night, we decided for the party prop, we're going to take it another direction. We're going to have a fun prop that everyone can get excited around, and it's a lighthearted prop, and it's going to be a first basket in the Lakers game. And we were looking at all the props in there, and we decided on Anthony Davis to score the first basket at plus 500. And here's my breakdown why I thought this was a good idea. The Lakers are going to win the tip. I would put money that the Lakers win the tip because Kevon Looney against Andre Drummond or Anthony Davis in that middle circle, there's no way Kevon Looney comes out with that ball. Having said that, I believe LeBron will get the ball. And what does LeBron do? He posted about on Twitter the past week. He's a pass-first guy. And who's his favorite player on that team that he FaceTimes while he's playing video games? Anthony Davis. So who's LeBron going to want to get the chemistry started with early? Anthony Davis. So that was I built that entire scenario in my head. Warriors could win the tip and Steph Curry could drop a 3 or someone else could score. But this is the party prop. So let's just all get behind it and have a great time. That's all I have to say about that.
That's me at the party. Yeah, no, I love it. I love these plays today. I mean, shit, I said I loved them yesterday. Just because you love them doesn't mean they're going to hit people. And when you tail the prop talk plays, if you feel like, doing some alt lines and doing your own deal, do it.
Yeah, do it.
Don't always
tag us. Maybe I want to do it with you.
Right. Maybe we want to change our own props, for God's sake. I don't know. But
all right,
always tail and ride our bets with caution because we lose just as much as the next person. But we do the work. We look at the stats. We like these bets. I love these bets tonight. And here's the other deal. I would argue every bet we placed yesterday would have hit if there weren't blowouts. Every prop we had would have cashed without a blowout. You never know what you're going to get from these teams. You never know what you're going to get from these players. I don't think anyone in the sports betting space thought that we would see a blowout game yesterday, especially from the Hornets Pacers.
No,
I didn't think it. I don't think anyone thought that Jason Tatum.
I had it at 16. Sabonis would have cleared that easy.
I will say, I did say to you yesterday.
No, you did.
Or bring up that Jason Tatum's threes looked juicy.
Oh, I ended up taking it. 3.5 smacked.
Oh, see, he didn't tell me he took it.
No, I thought you were going to talk about how you wanted Sabonis rebounds. That smacked.
Oh, yeah. So that's the other thing. I was about 2 off from hitting the over 36.5 for Sabonis. But before I liked that bet, I liked just his rebounds, which was 13.5. He ended with 21. So that's just another example of go with your gut.
Which is why I decided with Ja and Jordan, because I was flip-flopping like a fish on a fishing boat fresh out of water, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to go with the gut.
That was a lot, what you just did there.
That was a lot. But yeah, we'll recap them really quick. In the Grizzlies game versus Spurs tonight, kicks off first. I took Ja Morant over 20.5. Liv, you took?
Jonas Valanciunas over 33.5 points plus rebounds.
That came off the tongue very well. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
In the next game, Lakers-Warriors, I took Jordan Poole over 11.5 points, and Liv took? Oh, yes! Yes! I love this graphic. This is a great graphic. I love this graphic. It is going to be a pool party in LA tonight because Jordan Poole is going to get over 11.5 points. That's my prop. Liv?
Mine is Andre Drummond over 9.5 rebounds because it is my favorite prop up against the Warriors team.
And then for the party prop, we have a sneaky first basket because those are always super fun to root for, super fun to cheer for. Get the, whatever it's called, adrenaline moving. It's Anthony Davis plus 500 to get the first bucket tonight against the Warriors. We broke it down for you, but those are the recap. As always, we'll be dropping exclusives on the Book It Sports app. What's a Book It Sports app, you might be asking? Let me break it down for you really, really quickly. The Book It Sports app is a free social media scrolling platform on the App Store and Google Play Store for sports fans and sports bettors alike. You can do 4 things that are absolutely amazing, and obviously more than 4, but the key 4 things you can do is 1, you can post to the feed. Post your bet slips, post your memes, post whatever you're feeling about games to the feed. You can follow your friends, you can follow your influencers, you can follow Mikey Overs and Liv Moods on the platform and see what we're taking every day because we post there every day. You can also track your picks that you're placing on the sports books, and it keeps a record on our platform so we can know if you're good or if you're just capping. No cap. And if you're struggling or going through it, or you just want a little bit of help, maybe some advice, maybe a pick that you know is going to hit, you can buy a pick from our very own Book It verified handicappers that sell pick packages every single day. And it's all free on the App Store, and you still don't have it somehow. Go download it.
Mike drop. Mike drop.
Mic drop.
Mikey drop. Don't actually drop the mic.
Okay.
Okay, don't break
I hit it pretty hard. I'm not going to lie.
If I dropped this sucker, I'd probably break my desk.
You might break your floorboard.
Yeah, no, that's not good. I'm on carpet, Mike. Anyway.
Oh, your basement is carpeted?
Yeah, keeps it cozy down here.
I like that. I like carpeted basements. This has been Prop Talk. Oh my God.